Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone is having a very good week. I hope everybody is safe and healthy. All right, let's get straight into it. Today, we're going to talk about, are you doing the work? Are you doing the work? And I put down a whole bunch of things in my life that I really want to be doing the work on, things that I have as focus points in my life that I think will bring me fulfillment and growth and happiness and peace and all the things that we chase in this life. So I'm going to share those things with you, and we're going to talk about doing the work in each of those areas. One of the first areas that I put here is relationships. Are we doing the work that it takes to have great relationships? Do you sometimes question the relationships that you have? Do you question your friendships? How deep are they? How good are they? How strong are they? Are they just acquaintances? Are you doing your part in that relationship? Can you take that relationship to the next level? What is your trust level in that relationship? What would people say about you if you're not in the room? What do people say about you in their own heads? Right? What do people get from you? What value are you bringing to your relationships? Are you consuming in your relationships, or are you giving? When you pass away one day, which we all will, what will people say about you and the relationship that they had with you? What will they remember? These are things I question a lot. Where are my relationships? What's my relationship with my family as a whole? What's my individual relationships with each of those family members? I have 3 other sisters. What is my relationship with each of those sisters? Is it where I want it to be? Is it what I've always dreamed a sisterhood would be? What's my relationship with my mom? If we passed away, would we be happy with that relationship? Would we have done more, said more, achieved more, created more memories, saw each other more, talked more, right? What is your relationship with people in passing? Your coworkers? What do your coworkers get from you? Are you bringing life to them? What other relationships do we have in life? Our spouse. What is your relationship with your spouse? If you're married or you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or a significant other, what is your relationship with that person? Is it everything you dreamed of? Are you everything that person dreamed of? My daughter drew me a picture. It's beautiful, very colorful, like she is. Thank you, baby. Beautiful. You know, what is that relationship with your spouse? Are you making them better? Are you allowing them to be their true selves? Are you a safe space for them? Right? Are you guys growing together? Is that relationship as deep and strong as it can be? And the question is, are you doing the work? The work it takes to get to all of those things, right? Sometimes it's reading. Sometimes we don't know what to do. Sometimes we're at a loss, and it's like, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert. How am I supposed to know? I'm just being me. Go read about it. Look it up. Hey, you know what? I do want to get better at this. I do want to be a better spouse. I do want to be a better friend. I do want to be a better daughter. I do want to be a better parent. I do want to be a better coworker. Go read about it. Start becoming resourceful. Go grab some resources that might help you. Watch some videos. Listen to some podcasts. Ask someone who might be an expert. First thing we got to do is educate ourselves. Empower ourselves. If we want to get better at something, we must first learn about that thing and then start to do those exercises that will help us get better at that thing. Like, I have to watch a lot of marriage videos. I'm not great at being a great spouse. I'm not great at talking and communicating and talking about my feelings and being able to help him talk about his feelings and create a safe space. I'm okay actually just being in silent. Chris is sometimes like, where are you? Where are you right now? Who am I living with the past 3 months? Because a lot of times I'm silent, but I wasn't taught that. Wasn't taught how to do that. So I have to go find that information. I got to go read some videos, or read some books, watch some videos about how to come up with conversation that becomes more in depth and helps you better understand the person that you're with, right? Sometimes we're just not equipped. We don't know everything. We got to go find it out. So that's a great way to start that process of what work are you doing? Are you doing the work? Go find out what that work is first. And then you start to put that stuff in practice. The next thing I wanted to talk about is career. A lot of times we all want to have a good career, a purpose in that area, something that pays us well, probably something that gives us a good lifestyle in return, right? But are you doing that work, right? First, it's making decisions. Do you like your current career or job or business? If you don't like it, that's probably the first hard decision you need to make. You need to quit that shit and you need to take a risk and you need to go figure something else out that you might like a little bit more. Because that's the first step. Can't really get great and purposeful and fulfilled at something you don't even like. That means you're just doing it for whatever that thing is giving you, which it's not. In the end, it's going to be taking from you because you don't like it. It's actual work. So one of the first hard decisions we have to make, if we don't like what we're currently doing, we need to start to create an exit plan. And that's hard. It's scary. Sometimes that thing that we are doing is paying the bills. And it is maybe giving us a lifestyle, but we still hate it. So guess what? We got to do that hard work, make the hard decision to say, what is my exit plan? And when is my exit plan? And what will I do thereafter? Right? And then once we get there, are you doing the work? Do you put in the hours of that thing that you want to make better, that career? There's a book that talks about like 200 hours or 20,000 hours, whatever that book is, right? And that's like how many hours you put in to master something, to become great at something. If you want to become great and fulfilled at your career, guess what? You got to put in a lot of hours. And that's why, again, we want to make sure you like what you're doing. There's some passion behind that. There's some fulfillment behind that. It's feeding you and growing you, right? Otherwise, it will be like rope and chains. It will weigh you down over time, right? So are you doing that work in your career? Taking risks, doing more than what the average person in that position will do. If you do love your job, if you do love what you're doing, if you're already there and you're putting in great hours, are you doing the most? Right? Are you doing the most? Employee of the year. Are you going the extra mile even though you're not paid for it in your business? Are you sleeping at night knowing I did every single thing I could to build my business today? I was uncomfortable. I grew a hell of a lot today. I worked on some weaknesses. I built on my strengths. I made productivity today. The business went forward today. I did all that I could today. That's the work. I set 3 goals today and I made all those goals happen today. I set 3 goals every single day, 3 goals, and I met those goals every single day. That's the work, right? If you go to bed at night and you're like, damn, I should have spent more time here. I probably didn't get this done. Or I didn't get that done. Guess what? That's not all the work. So then when you ask yourself at the end of the night, man, I don't feel good about this. It's probably because you didn't do the work and you know you didn't do the work. Right? So are you doing the work in your career to get it to the level that you've always dreamed of and that you know you would be happy with that? Fulfillment. In the end, the end goal for me, the reason I wrote these down and I keep asking myself, am I doing the work? Because in the end, 60 years from now, I want to feel happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to say, man, I did, and I feel good about it, and I have no regrets, and I did the most, the best that I could. I don't want to go away and be like, damn, I didn't do as much as I could here. I regret this. I should have done more. I should have been more uncomfortable. I should have took bigger risks. Right? I should have stayed up later. I should have gotten more uncomfortable to get more comfortable. Are you doing the work in your faith? That was another big one for me because I don't do the necessary work in my faith. I pray in my heart, in my head, especially when I'm scared. I pray a lot when I'm scared. But do I pray when I'm happy? Do I pray throughout the day? Do I read the Bible? Like Chris says, he's like, prayer is good, babe. Yeah, prayer is great. But do you read the word? Because really, you don't really go deeper until you start reading the word. Still, you actually start doing devotions. You start doing exercises, practices. You reinterpret the word several times. You try to think about how that passage can be used in your life practically, daily. You try to really understand God's word and what he's specifically saying to you. Because someone could read it, someone next to me could read it, and it could mean something completely different to them. That's the beauty of the word. But I don't do that. I'll be honest, I don't. I don't know why. It's hard work for me. That's like that kind of stuff, the reading and all of that it's tough. I used to like it, but then many years I stopped, and then yeah, I stopped doing a lot of reading. But we have to ask ourselves why. That's the work. That's the work. It's yeah. Reading starts to make me sleepy, and then the next thing you know, I'm yawning, and then I need some entertainment to wake me back up. I got to figure out why that happens and then build that muscle again. Just rebuild it. It's just a muscle that went weak. That's all. It's not like, oh, it's not for me. It's just a muscle that went weak. I got to re-strengthen, retrain it, right? That's the work. If I want to get to the next level in my faith, it is going to take more than prayer when I'm scared, even more than when I'm happy. It's going to take more than prayer. It's going to take time. Sometimes it's just sitting in silence and just dedicating that time to sitting and reflecting on my faith and my relationship with God at that time and in general. Sometimes God just wants us to sit in silence and give him that time. We do it for meditation, for those who meditate. And sometimes that will build your faith, questioning, why am I afraid? Because the scripture tells us there's no need to worry, no anxiety. If you have faith, then anxiety and stuff goes out the window. So I have to ask myself often, especially after becoming a mom, why am I so scared all the time? And then Chris will tell me, you gotta strengthen your faith, babe. That's all it is. And it's true. Because when you have unwavering faith, guess what? You walk that line and you take that risk. So are you doing the work that it takes to strengthen your faith? When you sit and ask, you know what? Where is my faith? Where am I at right now? Where is my journey? Where am I at in my walk? How deep is my relationship with God or whatever you believe in? How deep is that relationship? Can I take that relationship to the deeper level? Right? Are you doing the work? Sometimes it's journaling after maybe reading some passages or doing a devotion. Sometimes it's journaling about it. Right? Sometimes it could be going to church or going to whatever place that you go to be in the realm of the spirit. Sometimes that can strengthen your faith. Sometimes it could be serving others and working on being more like God, so that's the work. Sometimes it's like, man, what would God do in this situation? Especially when you're married and with a spouse. We have to rely on God a lot. We have to sometimes die to our pride and our ego and our vulnerability and our fear and if you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. Or if you're not giving me love, I don't want to give you love back then. I'm going to wait until you give me love and then I'll give you love. Right? Sometimes we have to be more like God and say, you know what, even though I'm not feeling loved by you, I'm going to still give you love. And I'm going to still love on you. Because that's what God would do. And that's what God wants. And guess what? Somehow, some way, that person starts to reciprocate. And that's how amazing it is. Someone has to make the first move. A lot of times you only get that by unwavering faith. Right? I'm not going to be like me. I'm going to be like God today. I'm going to do what he wants today. I'm not going to live in my own flesh and want to shut down because I'm not getting this. So I'm just going to shut down and give nothing in return. where will that relationship go? Right? So are you doing the work in your faith? Are you showing faith to other people? You know, sometimes we're so afraid to like talk about our faith, or so afraid to talk about God because, you know, everybody is very different. And it is a very sensitive topic that people don't like to have it pushed on them or shared with them. But when you can and you feel it's okay, are you sharing it? Are you praying with someone? If someone is going through something hard, are you the person that's like, you know what, let's stop. Let me call you. Let's pray. I had a friend do that a couple weeks ago. She was like, are you free right now? I just want to pray with you. I was like, okay. And she called and she prayed with me, and miraculously, I felt amazing. I was like, that was amazing. Like, normally just your pastors do that, right? And it's like, it's okay for them. That's what they do. It's like, okay. But then a friend does it and it's like weird and uncomfortable. Maybe they're afraid or embarrassed. Or I know if I did that to someone, I'd feel embarrassed. I'd feel out of place. But like, she didn't. And it made me then feel really great. And then it made me want to do that to someone else. I was like, this was amazing. This made me feel so good. And this is so strong and powerful that we sat there for 5 minutes. And some of the stuff she said was just so wonderful. Imagine you do that for somebody else. It's amazing. And that then will strengthen your faith. You will be like, wow, this felt amazing. And this felt like a good responsibility. And then next thing you know, you want to practice your faith. You do want to read more so you know what to say. You know, so now I'm reading scripture so I could be like, what could I say in this situation to help somebody heal or get through it? Cool. Parenthood. That was another big one for me. Big one. Big, big, big one. And I hate to like bring it all back to like death, but we all die. You know, I experienced it just last week with my grandma-in-law. We all pass. She was on hospice. So we had to watch that, and thank God we were able to be by her side the whole time. It was a gift, but it also was so sad. And it taught me what we take with us. We don't take anything material with us. We get buried in an outfit. That was it. We don't take anything. We take all these topics that I wrote down. We take the relationships. We take our fulfillment. We can even take our regrets, right? I want to take more fulfillment and good memories, and I did it all, and I feel good about this, than I take any regrets. And I'm sure we will all take some regrets, but some will take more than others. So that's why I started writing this down. I'm like, what do I want to feel fulfilled at? And what do I want to know I left people with? What do I want to be remembered by? Parenthood for me is huge. I want my daughter to grow up and just say, man, I not only love my mom, I appreciate who my mom was, her kindness towards me and others, her unwavering faith, how good she was to my dad, what relationships I saw she had with her friends, what kind of career she had, and what impact did she make on people in that career. Like, it's crazy. And that parenthood, every time I get to a point, oh, I'm frustrated, oh, I remember that. What words will my daughter remember from me? What lessons will I teach my daughter? What is she seeing? Because we can say all the things, and in the end, they will watch and learn instead of listen and learn. They will watch and learn. So what is she seeing and watching from me on a daily basis? Am I happy? Am I sitting depressed? Am I living in anxious and anger, anxiety and anger? Am I resentful? You know, am I shy? Am I embarrassed? Do I talk to myself negatively? Or is she seeing my mom is such a happy mom? She's so joyful. She always sees the positive part of life. She's so optimistic and hopeful. She like gives light to other people. I always hear some positive stuff from my mom. Don't hear a lot of negative stuff. She works really hard. That's what I do hear from my daughter all the time. Mommy, you work too much. You
That's
work too
true.
much. So I got to work on that. So it's not all mommy works too much, So that's a big part for me. I want to spend more time, I want to have, and she gets to be home a lot. Yeah, but mommy's in work mode a lot, you know? Beautiful baby. Love it. You know, so that parenthood, yes, I want my daughter to remember that mommy worked hard and built businesses with daddy and was successful, but not to the expense of I didn't get to spend a lot of time with my mom, right? I didn't get to do activities. My daughter asked me like 4 or 5 times a day to play Barbies. And I'm always like, after this, baby, after this appointment, after this appointment, after this phone call. And it's like at the end of the night, she's like, you promised we're going to play Barbies. And then mommy's tired, right? She's going to remember those times and they're going to mean a lot more to her than you working so hard. Even though you're working so hard to provide a good life for her, it's that 10 minutes of Barbies that we can work on sacrificing to then give her those moments 4 or 5 times a day, right? I did the math in my head. I'm like, what is that, 45 minutes? Come on, Zahraa, you could do that. 10-minute spurts throughout the day, play Barbies. You could do it, right? That is the work of parenthood. It's not just I provide her a good life and I work so hard and everything else. It's like the hard sacrifices we make that aren't really so hard, right? At night, we do our affirmations, even if we're tired, super tired. Sometimes we'll be doing our affirmations half asleep. You know, I'm happy, like I'm beautiful, but we gotta do them, right? We gotta do them. That's the work. Sometimes I just don't want to. I'm tired. I just want to be like, go to sleep, but we gotta do them. It's tough, and that'll show her, like, even when we're tired, we get it done. So, are you doing the work? The other one I put was breaking the cycle. Are you doing the work in your life if you want to break cycles? That's a big one for me. I have a lot of cycles to break. A lot of cycles. I come from a Syrian family, a Syrian Muslim family. We had a hard upbringing. Very, very, very hard. Also poverty. So there's so many cycles, negative mindset, hating the world, not trusting people, living in survival mode, right? Like these are anger and temper and resent. These are serious cycles we must break. Negative self-talk. My mom doesn't even take pictures till this day. She hates pictures. She'll call herself ugly. And it's like, come on, mama. Like, and she said it once in front of Zamina. No, I'm not take picture. I'm ugly. And Zamina's like, what? She don't hear stuff like that. We don't call ourselves ugly. You know, can't do that. And I heard that growing up. And that now is the voice in my head. I'm ugly. But I have to fight that. So we will not pass that cycle down. Right? Just breaking cycles. If you are a cycle breaker in your life and you know there are cycles you need to break, are you doing the work to break those cycles? Are you so against those things that you will do everything it takes to break those cycles? Are you doing the work, the hard work, right? I'm running short on time, so I'm going to blow through the rest of these. Taking risks, sacrifice, and building self-awareness, growth, peace, love, and loving yourself. Those are all the things that I put for myself. Do I sacrifice enough in the ways that I need to? Will I end my life saying, I sacrificed? I did good because God sacrificed. God was the biggest sacrifice. He wanted us to be sacrificers for the sake of goodness. Do I sacrifice enough in my career to get to the next level? Do I sacrifice enough in leadership to be able to lead people? Do I sacrifice enough in my faith? Do I sacrifice enough to break those cycles? Right? And self-awareness, growth, peace, and loving yourself. Are you doing the work it takes to love yourself, to give time to yourself, self-reflection, reading? Again, if you don't know what it takes to grow yourself in certain areas, go read about it. Look up some podcasts about self-growth and analyzing yourself and self-reflection. Are you journaling? Are you taking the time to just sit in silence and just think about you and what you need? Are you touching your heart every day and saying, how do you feel today? What can I give you today? Have I said something nice to you today? Growing up, we didn't hear a lot of encouragement. So now I have to constantly try to encourage myself. You are good, Zahraa. You can do this. Right? We have to. Are you cheerleading yourself on, or are you Is that negative self-talk happening? That's the hard work. Sometimes you have to act crazy. There's sometimes I'm in such negative thought about myself that I have to out loud be like, shut the F up. And out loud just be like, shut up. And then be like, you're great. You're going to do this. You got this. Life is great. You want these struggles. Like sometimes you have to be that crazy and just say it out loud, because your inside head voice can be so freaking loud. It can turn off everything else. So you've got to be even louder and sometimes say it out loud, right? I've literally had to do that. My inside anxiety will get so loud, I'll have to be like, stop, and say something out loud. Especially when I'm scared and I'm running all these scary scenarios in my head about my daughter and life and all the things I'm afraid of for her life. I have to out loud be like, stop. She's going to have a good life. She's going to have an amazing life. She's going to be strong and powerful and kind, and people are going to be so good to her, and the world is great. Because you got to combat that loud ass voice in your head that's telling you the opposite, right? Are you doing the work? So ask yourself today and every day, in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, am I doing the work? In whatever areas you want, start to write down your areas. And I bet you will start to live a more fulfilling life in those areas that you really want to work on, because you will question, am I doing the work? And every day when you question yourself, guess what? You have to answer. You got to answer, and you can't bullshit yourself. You got to answer. And lo and behold, you start to want to do that work, right? All right, everybody, that's time. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Yes, be safe and healthy and do the work for yourself. All right. Take care, everybody.